Hello friends and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. In this episode, let's talk about one amazing cross-country hardtail mountain bike, and it's gonna be Canyon Exceed CF SLX 8 for the 2022 season. I'm a huge fan of cross-country hardtail mountain bikes because they are such a useful machine when you go off-road. So capable and so fast and also very, very light. And since they are only, a hardtail mountain bike with the front suspension, it's very easy to service them and they are very reliable. And you will see this Canyon Exceed CF SLX 8 cross-country mountain bike is an absolutely astonishing machine. So the retail price of this bike is 3,600 British pounds, which is definitely, on the upper levels of the price, but we will see when we dive into the specifications why I still think that this is a very good offer considering all the specifications. We can start with talking about the big question, who is this bike for? So this is one of those cross-country hardtail mountain bikes that are, light, stiff, proper off-road machines. So if you want to go off-road or you spend most of your time off-roading on any demanding terrain, super demanding rocky terrain, super steep mountains, and you want to go as fast as possible, then definitely you need to choose the cross-country hardtail mountain bike. And this is a typical example of this platform. Canyon offers two paint schemes for this bike. One is this pretty classical, they call it Team Alpecin Phoenix, their official, cross-country mountain bike team, which is basically a combination of a hint of black and blue, decent, but then they have this beautiful team replica, which definitely I would go for, because it gives you a bit more hint of, red and green paint scheme, again with a classical kind of black and white, but it just looks a little bit nicer. The main point here is that at least you have two paint schemes to choose from, because again, considering the retail price of 3,600 British pounds, it's important that Canyon can offer two paint schemes. Now, let's dive into the specifications of this bike and let's really see what do you get for your hard-earned money. As always, we can kick off with the frame and the fork. So this frame is a carbon fiber Exceed SLX carbon fiber frame. So SLX level is the mid-level of carbon fiber frames, so this is not creme de la creme that Canyon can do. They have their CFR racing carbon fiber frames, but these things are very expensive. So this carbon fiber frame, absolutely excellent. It comes with the 6 years guarantee from Canyon. And this is a typical carbon fiber frame for 29-inch wheels and also for the 100mm travel front fork. Canyon doesn't explicitly say what's the weight of this frame here, but I would expect it to be, very light and also very good build quality from this carbon fiber frame. So do I have any special complaint? Absolutely no. It should be perfectly fine hardtail carbon fiber frame. Now when we talk about the suspension fork, of course, since this is, a hardtail mountain bike, you only have a front suspension fork. And this front suspension fork is an absolutely superb fork. This is from Fox 32 Step Cast Performance Elite fork. So this fork, 32 Step Cast, 15mm through axle, 32mm, of course, diameter of the legs of the fork, and there is a 100mm travel on this fork. I mean, Fox forks are an absolute legend in cross-country mountain bike world. I would claim that these are the best forks you can use for cross-country mountain biking. Of course, somebody might say that, Rock Shocks are the best. This is always a debate. But briefly speaking about this Fox 32 Step Cast Performance fork. So some of the highlights, as I say, this is a fork for 29-inch wheels, 100mm travel and 15mm through axle at the front. And also, you can mount 160mm braking rotors direct mount, and of course it can be comparable all the way up to 203mm braking rotors if you really want. The key here is to mention that the air spring is the float air spring from Fox, and also it has a fit grip damper, which basically means that you have different adjustments on the fork. So for example, you can adjust the compression damping on the fork with open, medium and firm, and you can also adjust the low speed rebound on the fork. There are kind of 10 clicks in small little steps. You can adjust the rebound. Absolutely superb fork. I have no complaints about it. You'll definitely enjoy. And usually these Fox forks, Fox 32 in this case, is a very supple and smooth fork. Now let's talk about the drivetrain on this bike. Definitely one of the highlights again. This is a Shimano Dior XT group set. Briefly, there's only one level above Shimano Dior XT, and this is the Shimano XTR. So in this case, Shimano Dior XT 12-speed group set, mechanical, absolutely superb for a cross-country mountain bike. The rear mech, Shimano Dior XT 12-speed. I will mention that this is a 1-by group set, so basically you have only the shifter and the rear mech. Both of them are Shimano Dior XT 12-speed, and with the shifters, of course, I will mention here that this is a multi-release shifter, 2-way release, and it has an I-spec clamp which also contains the hydraulic disc brakes. Cassette on this group set, again Shimano XT cassette, 12-speed cassette, huge range, 1051, and this is paired with the crankset, which is again Shimano XT crankset, 34-tooth crankset. So as I say, 1-by group set, so only one chainring at the front, but 34-tooth at the front and 1051 cassette at the back. You'll definitely be able to climb any steep mountains, so no problems with this. Bottom bracket here on this carbon fiber frame is the Shimano's press fit bottom bracket, BB71. Absolutely, I'm not expecting any creaking noises, because these carbon fiber frames on hardtail mountain bikes from Canyon should be very, very good. Chain, they didn't cut corners here, so this is the Shimano's M8100 chain, 12-speed chain, so again Shimano Dior XT chain, and I would also advise you in the future, when you destroy the chain, keep it as a Shimano XT chain, or if you really want, you can upgrade to the Shimano XTR, but I just wouldn't bother because the price difference can be huge, and Shimano XT is perfectly fine. So with considering the group set, so rear mech shifters, crankset, cassette, chain, everything is absolutely superb. Shimano XT group set, I have no complaints here. Braking performance on this bike again is done by superb Shimano's hydraulic disc brakes, Shimano XT hydraulic disc brakes, so of course front and back, with the braking rotors which are MT800 braking rotors, so XT braking rotors, iStack Ice Freezer technology, superb heat dissipation, and in this case 180mm braking rotor at the front and 160mm at the back. Personally, I think they could have put also 180mm braking rotors at the back, but this is not so important in this case because this 180mm braking rotor at the front is definitely going to have a superb heat dissipation. Here again, I would advise you in the future, when you destroy these braking rotors, just to buy another set of MT800 braking rotors, so Shimano XT braking rotors, because of their superb heat dissipation and braking, performance, and also iStack Ice Freezer technology. Now let's talk about the wheelset. The wheelset on this bike definitely a secret sauce, because we are speaking about carbon fiber wheelset. So you don't see so many carbon fiber wheels on cross-country mountain bikes for a pure reason that they can be very expensive. In this case, you are getting a superb DT Swiss XRC 1700 spline carbon fiber wheelset. One interesting thing with this wheelset is that currently, when you look on the DT Swiss website, you can't buy this wheelset, direct to consumer. So the closest thing you can buy is the XRC 1501 spline wheelset, but we can base all the kind of specifications on this wheelset. So this DT Swiss XRC 1700 carbon fiber wheelset is with the internal width of 30 millimeters, carbon rim, absolutely superb. It should come with the DT Swiss 240 hubs, but this is something just to double check with Canyon, and I'm expecting the whole weight of this carbon fiber wheelset to be closer to about 1,600 grams. Another highlight that I can mention here is that again, as I said, it's tubeless ready, carbon fiber wheelset, 30 millimeters rim width internally, and of course it should be, 15 millimeters through axle at the front and 12 millimeters through axle at the back, and all these hubs, DT Swiss 240 hubs, are of course based on the superb Ratchet EXP 36 system. I'm not sure if Canyon will give you a tubeless tape and a tubeless valve for these wheels. Again, something to check with Canyon. I hope they would, but okay, that's a small little thing you can always buy and turn this wheelset into a tubeless wheelset. Tires on these wheels are again superb Maxxis Icon Exo tires, so this is 2.35 inch tires, great stuff, lot of air volume. You can definitely run them on a little bit, lower pressures, so the ride is going to be superbly smooth. And definitely in the future, I would advise you to keep at least these 2.35 inch tires, any brand that you like, but just to have a good air volume in this tire, because that's the whole point of getting a smooth ride on a cross-country mountain bike. Now let's talk about the cockpit. So you see, the cockpit is the Canyon's CP08 carbon fiber cockpit, but this is a one-piece affair, as I like to call it. So it's a one-piece handlebar and the stem, a carbon fiber piece, which is super impressive. But the thing is that I'm not a big fan of one-piece carbon fiber handlebar and the stem, just because this is a proprietary piece. So in the future, if you want to replace this carbon fiber handlebar and the stem, you are basically limited to the Canyon's own products. And also, if you want to finely tune the position on the bike, it's a bit challenging. So personally, I don't know why Canyon did it. I would appreciate more that even if they put only, a carbon fiber handlebar, but a separate stem, I think this would be a better solution. But it is what it is, so just be aware of that one-piece handlebar stem, carbon fiber. When we talk about the saddle, it's a superb choice here, Selle Italia SLR Boost saddle. I have used few Selle Italia saddles, they are usually excellent, but if you don't like it, you can easily replace it, because saddles are always a personal preference. Also, one interesting thing here when it comes to the seat post, Canyon is giving you a DT Swiss 232 seat post, which is basically a dropper seat post, which is very interesting. 30.9 millimeters in diameter, and now when it comes to descending on these cross-country mountain bikes, everybody likes to have a dropper seat post, just because you can lower your center of gravity and definitely go much faster downhill. Personally, I would prefer a classical carbon fiber seat post here, but okay, this is something that in the future you can easily kind of upgrade and have another carbon fiber seat post just to replace, for example, this drop post if you don't like it. I forgot to mention here that the total weight of this bike is a super impressive 10.2 kilograms. I'm guessing this is for the size medium. So for example, I would need size large, so I would expect it to be around 10.4, 10.5 kilograms, which still, in my opinion, is an absolutely lightweight cross-country machine. So, in a summary, what should you do with this bike? Should you just go ahead and buy it, or should you maybe just consider it? I truly believe if you are looking for a proper hardtail cross-country mountain bike, and of course you have 3,600 British pounds available, you should just go ahead and buy this bike. It's an absolutely astonishing bike, and I'm expecting it to be superb. And I'll definitely point out here one of the secret sauces of the bike is a superb carbon fiber wheelset from DT Swiss, superb Fox 32 fork, and the Shimano XT group set. So I think this is going to be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing, and if you do, please do subscribe, click that little like button, keep on watching, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!